And here we have it. The Champions League phase has officially ended. And listen. Everyone had their thoughts before the Champions League started. Everyone was saying, why is this happening? We don't like change. What is this utter woke nonsense? And X, Y, and Z. Everyone made their assumptions and everyone pretty much judged it before we even kicked a single ball, before game week 1. But fast forward, game week 8, and this is what the league face is saying. And listen, I can speak for myself. I'm going to give you guys my opinions. I'm going to give you my opinion on how this whole league phase has turned out to be. Who's been the winners? Who's been the losers? And of course, just talking briefly about the potentials, which on Friday the draw is going to be made, who Real Madrid is going to be facing, and if Real Madrid was to win the playoff, who they'll be facing next. It's going to be very, very interesting. Before we start, of course, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please comment your own thoughts about how, for you, this league phase and how this Champions League has turned out to be. Speaking for myself, and only speaking for myself, I can't lie, I've enjoyed it. Wallah, I've enjoyed it. For me, this has been exceptional. For me, it's been... I loved it. The suspense, the drama, the entertainment. It was action-filled throughout the whole game week 1 to game week 8. It wasn't like in the previous Champions League where after maybe the 4th game, the 5th game, maybe after November, that's it. There was no entertainment. Everyone was then waiting for February, for the knockout stage. This time around, there wasn't. Every game you wanted to tune in. Every game you knew it had a massive, massive impact on how the league table was going to be. And this is what Perez. I mean, listen, let's give credit where credit is due. This was Perez's idea. Perez, bro, word for word, bar for bar, they stole his whole idea. They stole his whole flow. His whole flow, they stole it. But listen, I'm not here to big up Perez. I love to big up Perez. But I'm here to big up the idea. And because the idea really, really gave us everything. It gave us a chance to see... Apologies. You know what, hey, voila. Hey, Perez, even Perez himself knows this is his idea, man. But listen, this idea gave us the chance to see the smaller teams deliver on the big stages. We got to see teams who usually in the previous years, on the last Champions League format, they only get to maybe highlight to the whole world in one game. In one game, how good they are. Or maybe no games at all. This time around, we got to see it on a much frequent basis. We got to see the big team struggle. The big team managed to struggle. Surprisingly, we saw small players deliver. Bro, this was, honestly speaking, if I had to rate it from 1 to 10, I'm going to give this format a 10 out of 10. A 10 out of 10. I want to see this every single year. Yes, I know my own team is 11th. My own team didn't really deliver in this format. But it's not about my team. It's about how I enjoyed the Champions. Bro, game week 8, I was checking whether there's still possibilities of Real Madrid reaching the top 8. Whilst the game was going on, I was checking the table was changing every single moment, every single second. One time we were 11th, so one time we were 18th, one time we were 9th. We just needed 2 or 3 more goals to qualify. It was elite. It gave me like World Cup vibes. If you guys remember the last World Cup or the previous World Cups, where maybe game week 3 you get to see who's qualifying and who's not. It was honestly, from an entertainment standpoint, it was sensational. It was absolutely sensational. Now, let's talk about it from a club standpoint. I've highlighted for me 3 clubs. I don't want to go into massive detail. I don't want to say 5 clubs or 6 clubs. I've highlighted 3 clubs which for me was the winners. For me, stood out more than anything else. And the 3 losers who disappointed massively, specifically one team and one team only. I will start off with the winners. And one of them, for me, is Lille. Bro, I'm surprised. I'm shocked, and I love the fact what they did. And, 1 second. This is what you happen when you just record videos with no edits, fam. This, you might get to see me. Roll edits, baby. But listen, I love the fact the one team who did qualify to the top 8 of the French teams is Lille and not Paris Saint-Germain. The reason why I say this, everyone has got that misconception and everyone has got that narrative about the League One, that it's poor, it's dead, it's not good enough, Farmers League, McDonald's League, Uber Eats, whatever it is, yeah? The fact that Lille managed to beat some of the biggest teams in the world shows how good they are and gives an idea how talented the Ligue 1 did. Because it's not just Lille. Some of the French teams, Monaco is up there. Paris, yes, Paris is up there, who at one point we thought was going to be disappointed. But bro, Lille beat Real Madrid 1-0 at home. Yeah, 1-0 at home. You guys can say Madrid was poor, but at the same time, if I play devil advocate, maybe Lille was too good. Maybe Lille managed to break down and tactically outclass Real Madrid, and they highlighted Madrid's struggles, which we did. We struggled. They went on to go to Wanda to face Atleti, and they beat Atleti 3-1. Again, you can play devil advocate and say, well, they managed to beat Atleti before Atleti was good, and before Atleti kickstarted their run. But still, Atleti had the best players, and they managed to beat them at Wanda. Wanda is not an easy ground to go to, and specifically score 3 goals. And now, let's check the pretty line. Look. Draw at Juventus, Bologna 2-1. At Sturm Graz, they managed to win. Final 6-1. That game was massive because that game was going to maybe put them to the top 8. If they drew that game, if they lost that game, we would see them pretty much in the top 20, top 19, similar to Final. But bro, clutch, they beat them 6-1 at home. Didn't even waste time. For me, massive credit to what they've done. The second team which I want to highlight is Aston Villa. Aston Villa for me, top 8, which first time in the Champions League since what? I think 1990 something, 1980s, something like that. We all know about Unai. We all know about how good Unai is. And that was the misconception, again, similar to Lille, about the Ligue 1. There was a misconception about Unai heading into this Champions League format. Is he going to maybe... What is he going to do? Is he going to concentrate on the league, or is he going to concentrate on the Champions League? And after the first 2-3 games, everyone was saying, rah, Aston Villa are killing it. They were first, they were beating Bayern Munich, and then they start losing. And then, if you guys remember, where is Aston Villa? Hey, this little stretch of period where they lost against Club Brugge, they drew at home against Juve, and then, of course, they lost to Monaco. They're like, Aston Villa might not qualify. There was a little bit of hiccups. Are they going to qualify? But bro, trust Unai. When it comes to Champions League, when it comes to European football, Unai Emery are amongst one of the most talented and one of the most experienced managers out there. If it comes to European football, you can trust Unai to get it done, and you can trust Unai to pretty much get out, finishing line, bro. Finishing line. And that's what Unai did. Honestly speaking, from the players as well, from the Duran, who's now, I don't know if you guys have seen the latest rumors, he's now going off to Saudi Arabia, from the Watkins, but most specifically, Morgan Rogers, who, bro, in his debut, Champions League debut, he's out here killing teams. He's out here, the celebration as well, elite. And then, that's one team which, I know you guys are about to say, why are you crediting them? They haven't really, I mean, listen, Liverpool, credit to them. I mean, we all know how good they are. Barcelona, first time with the league phase, they were up there. Arsenal, we knew. Inter, we knew. Atleti, big up to Atleti, because after the first 3 games, we thought, you know what, this was over for them. We thought this was over because they had a difficult run. But what changed was when they beat Paris Saint-Germain, this game specifically, when they beat, because if they had lost that game, Champions League was done for them. Bayern Leverkusen, after so many people wrote them off, especially after last season, can they replicate this season? They did it. But we spoke about these 2 teams, but that's one team which I really want to highlight, and that is no other than Brest. No other than Brest. Once again, I spoke about the Ligue 1 teams. Bro, Brest in the league are doing terrible. They are doing terrible. The fact that we are now getting to see not only 1, not only 2, 3, but 4 Ligue 1 teams, I think should give you an idea. Those teams are good. Don't give your own narratives about the Ligue 1 in terms of other situation. Yes, I don't expect them to maybe win the tournament, but them teams have actually managed to qualify into the players which other teams couldn't. There is 24 teams possible to qualify. 4 teams from Ligue 1 did it. And I think, let me see, Barcelona's got 1, 2, 3. Liverpool, England's got 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, tied. I think Ligue 1 is tied. Atlanta's got 1, 2, 3. Or tied. Okay, no, tied. I was just about to say a thing. But now let's talk about the losers. The losers for me, most specifically, is Manchester City. And I'm going to give it from a point of view. Listen, I think we all know how poor City has been this season. Everyone, of course, has made their own judgment about them. I've mentioned more than once on this channel, on SDS, how poor City has been. But what's disappointing the most, yeah, when you think of league phase, when you think of a team that kills it in the league, in a league phase, you think of City, but more specifically, you think of Pep. Pep, for me, is the greatest league manager I think I've ever seen, just because of the fact of his experience and of his consistency across a whole league phase. When this was first initially made, and my prediction for this tournament, I had City finishing, bro, first, second, at least third, because, bro, this is a league phase. And when it comes to league phase, you know, City and Pep, they kill it. They cook it. They absolutely kill it. And the experience which they have. The fact that after 8 games, they are now finishing 22nd. And at one point, with 45 minutes to go, they were out from the Champions League. That, to me, if they went out, that was, to me, the greatest and the biggest disappointment of any so-called big team in the Champions League history. In the Champions League history. How can you not qualify? Forget qualifying top 8. How can you not qualify within the top 24 teams? 24 out of 36. And you finish outside of the 24. So City, they managed to survive. But the whole league phase, winning 1 out in the last 5, for me, absolute shocking. And some of the defeats as well, like the Sporting loss, where they're winning 1-0. The draw to final, where we're winning 3-0. The loss to Juve, where they could barely create anything. The loss to Paris Saint-Germain, where they're winning 2-0. The losses, that the magnitude, even the game, the win against Club Brugge, yes, in the second half, they turned around. They were losing 1-0. That, to me, absolutely disappointing. Another team which I want to talk about, yes, context matters. I know context matters, but I'm talking about Sporting. For me, Sporting, yes, after what Ruben did initially, and they were winning games, and X, Y, and Z, the moment Ruben left, boom, they could barely win a single game. And again, I don't want to... I know context matters. They lost the manager, but at the same time, those players, they still know what to do. And some of the losses, I'm not talking about the big... Bro, like Arsenal, forget Arsenal. Like Club Brugge. Leipzig, really, bro? Bologna, really, bro? Like some of the draws and the losses for me was disappointing. But most specifically, and if I had to talk about one team and one team only, Real Madrid. Real Madrid, for me, is one of the most disappointing. Yes, I know we finished 11th, but I look at it, this could have been avoided. This could have been avoided. I did not look at this Champions League format and said to myself, oh my God, we've got a tough run. Oh my God, I don't know how to do it. Bro, our toughest game was Anfield. We played teams at home, like Dortmund, Milan at home, which at home we should be beating. Lille, I know I credited Lille and I said how good they are, but that is still a team we should be beating. Salzburg, Stuttgart, Brest, Atalanta. Yes, Atalanta, they finished, 9th. It's still, it's not a difficult run. The run was okay. This run, we should be finishing in the top 8. And the reason why I'm saying this is because now it leads me to this point. It leads me to the fact that we are now potentially a game away from facing a team like Manchester City. We could potentially face Manchester City or Celtic. One of those 2 teams will be facing. And if we did face one of those 2 teams, who do we face next? We're facing either Atleti or Leverkusen in the round of 16. Atleti or Leverkusen. Atleti, you know the history of Atleti. You know when it comes to Real Madrid, with Carlo. Remember, with Carlo. Yes, Real Madrid against Atleti in the Champions League is a completely different format because we always beat Atleti in the Champions League. But now with Carlo, yes, I know Carlo beat them in 14-15. But, hey, I don't know about now. And Leverkusen. We struggle against wingers. We struggle against wing backs. And they've got Grimaldo and Frimpong that can kill us, bro, on the wing. But before I talk about, why am I talking about potentially qualifying? Bro, let's talk about now. We're going to face against Manchester City. Let's talk about Celtic first. Celtic, for me, I know we'll win. But Celtic, Hampden Park, fam. Yo. Hey, it's not easy. But the reason why I say City, I'm not worried about City. I'm not scared of City. Don't get me wrong. I'm not looking at City and say, oh my God. I'm not. But When you have, and this to me pissed me off, when you have your own manager coming out and saying this, where is it? What did he say? We don't like to play against Manchester City. When you have your own manager coming out and saying, before the draw is even made, you're coming out and saying, we don't like to play against Manchester City. You know what vibe this gives me? This gives me Barcelona vibes. If we lose, it's all right. It's one of the worst trophies. It's one of the most least important trophies, and we lost 5-2. So you're already going into that game mentally convincing yourself we don't like to play against Manchester City. So now, let's say we do face Manchester City. How are you going to prep? What are you going to do with the scouting report? Are you going to see City's weaknesses and City's struggles defensively and in the final third, and how they, in terms of transition defense, they don't have anyone in terms of Gundogan, Kovacic, and Bernardo? Are you going to do your research? No, you're not. You've already mentally convinced yourself, I don't like to play against Manchester City. So now you're going to put that own fear into the players now. Like, bro, really? How can a Real Madrid manager come out and say, I don't like to play? Bro, you should be saying, I don't care who we play against. We're going to be beating anyone. What you said against Barcelona pissed me off. And now you're about to say this as well? Come on. And again, I know some of you guys say, you're always negative, you're always overreacting, this and that. How can you not be happy? All right. Wallahi al-Azim, I want you now to come out, put in the comments, are you okay with what Carlos said? Are you for you? Forget, I've given you my opinion. If I'm negative, I'm negative. If I'm overreactive, put down in the comments if you think this is acceptable. Because for me, it's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace how a Real Madrid manager can come out and say, we don't like to play against... No. Why are you coming out and saying it publicly? Why are you coming out and giving them the confidence publicly? A team who's been struggling. Yo. But listen, put down in the comments what you guys felt of that Champions League, the format, and X, Y, and Z. And I'll see you tomorrow with who Real Madrid are potentially going to be getting. Don't forget to, of course, like, subscribe, and comment your own thoughts. And I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.